This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Good evening, I'm Holly Buchanan. Clutha Southland Member of Parliament Todd Barclay has announced he will not seek re-election at the general election later this year. Barclay has been embroiled in controversy over allegations he secretly recorded the conversations of one of his Gore staff members. Barclay made his announcement after meeting senior National Party members this morning. On the streets of Queenstown and Winton today, the response was mixed.
He should be open and honest, straightforward, and be fair to his staff and be fair to the voters.
I think his integrity has
and
gone.
his party.
And how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm disappointed because I've been a National supporter most of my life, and I am disappointed in him.
What about you, sir?
I would say the same.
It's an invasion of the people's privacy. Everybody has a little whinge at work, so you don't want it being recorded, and then you don't want other people trying to cover it up. So I think he should resign, definitely.
How do you feel about his actions?
I think it's terrible. I think it's really disgraceful.
And what's your view on the National Party?
Well, I won't be voting for them. I think Bill English has told too many lies, to be honest, and I think Andrew Little's got a good point in saying, things like this should not happen to people.
Are you a National Party voter?
Normally.
Put our faith in politicians to run a country. And I mean, I'm not from this country, I'm from Australia. And if that would have happened in Australia, no doubt the Prime Minister would have stepped in and said, right, you step down.
Do you think he should resign?
I don't know. I think he needs to have a good look at himself and his maybe perhaps morals, how he goes about things.
It's not a good look for National because Todd Barclay was one of the younger members, and it's been a National seat for years and years through Bill English, so it will hurt down south anyway.
Oh, I think it's a shame. He's got a big future. He's a young man. Obviously made mistakes. We don't know the full details of what happened between him and his staff, but I think recording them and without telling them, bad move. Got to go.
I'm disappointed that he didn't do better. Being a young person, I thought would be a big advantage to get a few new young people in, but I didn't expect him to mess it up the way he has.
Yeah, well, I think probably that he's hurt National a wee bit with all this things that are going on. It's a fairly safe sort of National seat, Clutha Southland. I don't know the ins and outs of exactly what's happened, but it just wasn't a good look that all this had gone on, really.
And 2 students escaped uninjured from a fire in their North Dunedin flat this morning. Fire crews descended on the Park Street property after the blaze broke about 9:15 a.m. The fire started in the fuse box of the top story of the 2-storey dwelling, then spread into the house's roof cavity. Firefighters were able to extinguish the fire before it spread further. The students say the majority of their property was unharmed. A fire service spokesman says an investigator would not be required. And there was blood and fire on the tarmac yesterday as Invercargill Airport's emergency response was tested. The biannual drill included some very realistic simulations, and Ruby Spink was there.
Scenes of fire, blood and gore at Invercargill Airport in an elaborate emergency drill. Every 2 years, airport staff and emergency services are assessed on how well they respond to crisis situations. Yesterday's test simulated what would happen if a 30-seat Q300 Bombardier plane had a rough landing and bounced, causing the back end of the plane to break off and the front to skid off the runway, crash and catch fire.
So it's quite a complex exercise, but there's a lot of planning and it should go well today. The thing for us is we'll get some, we should do well, but we will have some learning opportunities come from it, and that's the goal.
To add realism, 50 volunteers from the Southland Institute of Technology, Southland Multicultural Society and St John played ambulance staff, people inside the terminal demanding to know what was happening on the tarmac, and injured victims, prosthetics and all.
It just gives a
gives us an opportunity to test our airport emergency plan, and also gives the services time to actually come into an unfamiliar environment such as the aerodrome, which they would normally not get to actually go into, and just basically test their skills along with their own.
About an hour into the exercise, Pearce said the response by airport staff and emergency services was reassuring.
Oh, it's fantastic. They've all responded exactly how we wanted them to respond. Obviously, there's a bit of analysis that we have to go through once the exercise is concluded, and then what we'll be doing, we'll be working with the services themselves to make sure that we can sort of improve or change or modify our responses in the future.
He says it's an important exercise that all airports around the country must do. I'm Ruby Spink for The South Today.
Oamaru police have issued a warning following a spike in thefts of chainsaws and fuel from rural sites. Sergeant Tony Woodbridge of Oamaru says people need to make sure they keep items of value out of sight and locked up. He urges people to be cautious if they're buying chainsaws, fuel or firewood at prices that could be too good to be true. Recently, 20 hay bales were stolen from a barn in Gardners Road, and a chainsaw and fuel were stolen from a Fernbrook Road property. Dunedin MP Michael Woodhouse officially opened a brand new steel and tube site in Dunedin's Friat Street today. The new space is larger than the current space, and as the business grows, plans are in place to expand the workforce, providing more opportunities in the city.
Dunedin MP Michael Woodhouse was in Friat Street this morning to open Steel and Tube's brand new business site. Woodhouse, along with Dunedin Deputy Mayor Chris Stein, joined Steel and Tube's CEO Dave Taylor and the Board of Directors to tour the new distribution and processing site. Taylor says the commitment taken to loading and unloading at the new centre comes at a huge cost, but demonstrates the serious approach to health and safety, especially after recent accidents in other parts of the country.
The number one killer in the steel industry in terms of distribution is product falling off the truck onto people. In fact, there was a contractor or a fabricator in Christchurch just had a fatality where that process fell from part of the process onto somebody and killed them.
Underneath this warehouse are 1,300 9-metre deep rammed aggregate piles. It is a new piling system used to improve the seismic rating of the property. The new site has been constructed in line with the city's economic development strategy to increase skills, income and job opportunities. It comes after a raft of recent business closures, including Southern-founded Fisher & Paykel's closure of its Dunedin-based manufacturing operations in 2016. The question on everyone's lips today was whether Woodhouse thinks this investment can withstand where others have failed.
The Steel and Tube guys will be the best judges of that, I think, but I think it's reassuring to me that companies like Steel and Tube are wanting to continue to invest and grow and have confidence in the city and the region, and this is a really good illustration of that, so good day.
The completion of the project is part of Steel and Tube's multi-million-dollar reinvestment program. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, how thin is too thin when it comes to models in the fashion industry, and charges are laid after a bomb scare closed parts of Dunedin's central city on Friday.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever. From rare to the recent, visit the legendary Hard to Find for your quality second-hand books. With the largest stock in New Zealand and a friendly book-loving atmosphere. For good prices, buying or selling, come visit 20 Dowling Street.
We need your help to secure the future of Dunedin Hospital. The Dunedin City Council is leading the community's call to redevelop Dunedin Hospital as a top-flight teaching hospital right in the city centre. Have you sent your SOS? Add your voice to the thousands demanding central government commit to the health and well-being of the whole southern region. Go to dunedinhospitalsos.nz and fill out your form, or head to a library near you to fill out a paper copy. dunedinhospitalsos.nz.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
We're a 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
Put your seatbelts on for this one and rev it up. Thursday night is Motorsport Night. Proudly brought to you by multi-award winning Garador.
Welcome back. The outbreak of gastroenteritis at Havelock North last year has the Clutha District Council assessing its own water supply treatment plants for risk. It's a requirement for the council to have a water safety plan and identify ways to minimise potential risks at treatment plants. The Evans Flat and Glen Kenich plants pose the greatest health risk as they're sourced from a stream within rural catchments. There are plans to upgrade the plants to reduce risk. The upgrade projects are expected to be completed in the next 12 months. And overseas, laws are being created to prevent models in the fashion industry from being underweight. Does New Zealand also have an issue with excessively thin models? Rudy Adrian investigates.
Each year, the Dunedin Railway Station hosts the ID Fashion Show, with young, thin girls modelling the clothes of both local and overseas fashion designers. If this was France, they would have to present a doctor's certificate to prove they are a healthy weight. Modelling agent Daryl McNamara thinks this would be unnecessary in Dunedin.
I think when it comes to the modelling industry, especially in Europe, they take things a lot further. So size has always been the stick, thin, skinny figure. New Zealand really hasn't suffered from that, and I don't think it will actually catch on here.
Margie Robertson of fashion label Nom D visits Paris twice a year for Fashion Week. She agrees the weight of Dunedin models is not an issue.
In New Zealand or even Dunedin, we don't have a huge pool of models that are 6 foot tall, all wanting to be cast in the next Louis Vuitton show. So I think, you know, the models here are still amazing, but they are quite real.
She does concede that models are required to be a particular body shape.
The role of a model is that they are slim. That is a requirement. I mean, when they're photographed or when they're filmed, I mean, a slim, tall, because that's the other requirement. Let's not only talk about slim. Tall is a requirement as well.
It turns out many of Dunedin's catwalk models are underdeveloped schoolgirls, a body size that Robertson says is desirable.
A very young model is often hasn't fully developed. I mean, she hasn't quite become a woman, so quite girlish and sometimes quite even boyish in her body shape. which can also be quite appealing for clothes.
McNamara agrees that Dunedin's models are very young, and he does have advice for them not to be underweight.
Definitely. We talk to all the models about, diet especially. A lot of them are going through puberty because they're generally younger, the models that we have here, so the weight does fluctuate. So yeah, we do talk to them about that, but we definitely don't have the issues. In the past we have had skinnier models that we have spoken to about maybe eating more and enjoying life a bit more, so we have had to do that, but no, it hasn't been a major issue for me. I mean, we're quite lucky.
The ID Fashion Show comes back to Dunedin in March next year. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
A Dunedin man has been charged after the discovery of a package taped to a wall on Moray Place closed much of central Dunedin last Friday. Businesses were evacuated and the central city cut off from Cumberland Street to George Street and Stewart Street to St Andrew Street. A police spokesperson says a 43-year-old man has been charged with threatening to destroy property in relation to the incident. The Otago Daily Times revealed this morning the package was the demo tape of underground Dunedin noise band LSD fundraiser. The item was initially treated as suspicious. A post from LSD Fundraiser's Bandcamp page shows a note was attached to a demo tape of the band's album and fixed to walls in Dunedin with statements including, "I will firebomb your car and I will raise your buildings to the ground." The New Zealand Defence Force's Explosive Ordnance Disposal Squad was flown by helicopter to the city and destroyed the package in a controlled explosion carried out by a remote-controlled robot shortly after 5 p.m. And after the break on The South Today, hundreds flocked to the Timaru Bird Show and a close shave for dozens of Otago Boys High School students.
Loss of collagen is the reason for those fine lines and wrinkles. Silberhorn's Collagen Plus naturally supports your collagen levels, giving you younger, firmer looking skin, healthier, shinier hair and stronger nails. Joints, tendons, ligaments and cartilage all benefit from healthy collagen levels, the very foundation of structural health. Support collagen levels naturally with Collagen Plus by Silberhorn. Be quick, buy one now and get a second pack half price. Call now 0800 502 402.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Well, what we know is that 1 out of 3 people who has bowel cancer ignores their symptoms to the point whereby they have to turn up to the emergency department with their bowel blockage. 1 in 3 people turns up with a blocked bowel as their first presentation with bowel cancer, which says to me there's plenty of opportunity to detect it before it gets to that stage. And if that's having your doctor look into it, or if that's actually raising a very uncomfortable issue with your doctor first, we've got a lot of room for improvement.
We're doing all we can to raise awareness about this cancer. You know, it's not sexy. It's, you know, it's not part of our anatomy that people like to think about that much. But actually, we need to.
Ask yourself, when was the last time someone talked to you about their bowel habit and they were worried about bowel cancer? But they will talk about worry about melanoma, breast cancer or prostate cancer all the time. So it really is New Zealand's silent cancer.
Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoai Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
The University of Otago, New Zealand's only true collegiate university. For first-year students, the history, the expectations of excellence are
unfamiliar.
G'day, I'm next door.
Hi, next door. I'm Samantha Pascoe.
No, you're not. I'm Josh, Clyde, Science. And you are?
Sam, Hastings, Law and Arts.
Tane, Auckland, Commerce. Osaka, Greece, Classics. History.
Autumn is here. Too late to sow grassy, but never fear. Ready Lawn is here. Ready Lawn, your perfect all year round solution. Call Ready Lawn today.
That was the nice thing of those buildings in those times, that every building was done differently. They were all done for the individual owners, and every building has their own story.
Welcome back. A bird show was held in Timaru at the Waimataitai School Hall recently, attracting hundreds of entrants from across the South Island. Rachel Comer has more.
9-year-old Toby Cuthbertson was the youngest entrant at this year's Timaru Bird Show, and several of his birds won awards. Toby inherited the pastime from his grandfather, show organiser Bruce Carton.
Well, my granddad was doing them, so I just wanted to do them.
Toby's birds won Best Gloucester Canary in the show, Best Novice and Best Junior. He says he has no special secret to raising winning birds, and he is happily surprised by his achievement. Bruce Carton says the annual show attracted 575 entrants from throughout the South Island. The weekend show featured a range of birds, including canaries, finches and budgies. Rachel Comer, The South Today.
It's the shortest day of the year today, and about 50 Otago Boys High School pupils will be noticing the chill after having the shortest haircuts of their lives. The pupils are participating in Shave for a Cure, the annual Leukemia and Blood Cancer New Zealand fundraising event. The school has raised approximately $18,500 so far, the second highest amount amassed by a New Zealand school. St Hilda's Collegiate School, Columba College and Otago Girls High School have also contributed money to the Otago Boys campaign. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Clutha Southland Member of Parliament Todd Barclay has announced he will not seek re-election at the general election later this year. There was blood and fire on the tarmac yesterday as Invercargill Airport's emergency response was tested, and Dunedin MP Michael Woodhouse officially opened a brand new steel and tube site in Dunedin's Friat Street today. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry.
Hello, Holly. We'll have more, of course, on the Clutha Southland MP Todd Barclay, who, as you mentioned earlier, is standing down. Queenstown drink driving shame. Conviction statistics reveal that is a big problem in the resort. So we look at that and what the Mountain Scene newspaper is doing in reaction to those stats. So interesting tactical move. Dunedin men charged in relation to the package which closed most of central Dunedin last Friday. So story on that. And the big game at the weekend, of course, is the All Blacks versus the Lions, and we'll have the All Black team named for that clash in the paper tomorrow.
Fantastic. Thanks very
Thank you.
much. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silverhorn Sportsval.
Starting with today's southern view, a nice dusting of snow there on the Remarkables in Queenstown. Looking at the situation, a ridge of high pressure should keep the deep south mostly fine for the next few days. To the southern outlook, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore, Lumsden, moderate sou'easters, mostly cloudy and a cool high of 9 degrees across the board. To the central outlook, Alexandra, moderate sou'easters, mostly cloudy and 8. Queenstown and Wanaka, light sou'easters becoming fine, 8 degrees. Moderate sou'easters too for Te Anau and an otherwise mostly fine day getting up to 9 degrees. To the northern outlook, more single figure highs. Oamaru, moderate sou'easters, mostly cloudy, 9 degrees. Marama and Twizel, light sou'east winds becoming fine and 8. Timaru, moderate sou'easters, fine, some rain in store and a high of 9. Here in Dunedin tonight, a period of showers and an overnight low of 7 with fresh cold sou'westers. Sunny periods and some cloud tomorrow, a few light showers possible around the middle of the day. Cold with moderate sou'westers and looking at a high of 9 tomorrow. And on Friday, cloudy and cold with light easterly winds and a high of 8. A few showers possible during the afternoon. To Invercargill now, showers clearing and an overnight low of 7 tonight. Mostly fine and just breaking into double digits tomorrow. Sunny periods, high cloud and light winds. Mostly cloudy and cold on Friday with moderate sou'easters and a high of 9 degrees. That's all from the team here at the South Today, so enjoy the rest of your evening and be sure to join us again tomorrow. Good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.